Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special episode, Thursday Night Football Edition, Dolphins Bengals. But before we get started, I know we had a show last night and we spoke about Hurricane Ian and everything that happened in the state of Florida. So I just want to touch on that before we get into the sports. Our state has been devastated. The west coast of Florida, Fort Myers, North Naples, Punta Gorda. The pictures that the more that they come in, the harder and harder it gets. And we have a lot of Dolphins friends and families out there who essentially lost everything. So please keep everybody in your prayers. This hurricane, no one was ready for it. The strength and the devastation that it caused is terrible. And now that we're seeing the aftermath, football comes second, football comes third. First, it's our family and our friends. And just know that we're thinking about you guys and praying for you. And we'll get through this together, and we're all in this together.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends, obviously, that come from the southwest of Florida, which was one of maybe the most hardest hit, and so we're thinking about you and keeping you guys in our prayers, and looking forward to seeing you back together with us at the Hard Rock when you can make it down. But again, football secondary right now. It's all about you guys, and everything you're going through. So thoughts are with you guys.
Definitely, guys. As you know, tonight, huge game, Dolphins versus Bengals. Thursday night football. Last year, Thursday night football, we took on the Ravens at home and destroyed Lamar Jackson. So I'm hoping for a repeat on the road. But before we get into the game, we have a special guest. You guys have seen him on the show before. So special to us, so special to the Dolphins community, Mr. Richmond Webb.
That's good. Oh, man.
How you doing?
What's going on?
How's Texas?
Texas is good. Like you were just mentioning, I think the thing is, praying for the people in Florida that just went through that hurricane. And I was watching the news before I came on, and they were talking about it's headed toward South Carolina. So, it went through there, and it did do some extensive damage. So just praying for those people. That's never fun, losing power, or they were showing how boats, I think in Fort Myers, had just got destroyed, expensive boats. So definitely concerned about those people and sending out prayers for them.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's rough, and it could have been us in Miami. Down here we were pretty spared. We just got a lot of rain, but they weren't ready for it, and the destruction. It's
very sad to watch. And Richmond, you dealt with that a couple of times in your career, where games were kind of put on either hold or right. A couple of times that went on.
Couple times, and me being from Texas, Dallas. Now I live in Houston. Every now and then we'll get a hurricane, but never in Dallas. So I can remember it was early 90s. I want to say maybe around 92. Hurricane Andrew came through, and that was a scary experience. And the good thing, it turned and went south and really devastated Homestead and those areas down there, and went down there and saw the destruction. And I know I was fortunate because I lived in the Miami Lakes area, but it turned south, and we were just fortunate. But I know a lot of people that they just had a slab. There was no walls or anything. You just saw where the house used to be and all that. So seeing that and seeing what it could actually do, and some people gonna lose lives and stuff like that. It's just it gives you a different outlook when you can actually visually see it, walk up on it. So definitely, that's why I say.
And Andrew was your first major hurricane, right? It was.
Yeah, it was. I got I got welcomed in. I was like,
oh goodness.
Yeah.
Well, talking about hurricanes, let's not talk about what your Aggies did 2 weeks ago. I didn't want to bring it up, but all respect where respect is due. Congratulations on that big win.
Yeah, we needed that, but Miami's got a good team. I mean, I looked at it. We won. It wasn't by a huge margin of victory, which I root for the Hurricanes because I just spent so much time down there. But really got a good defensive line. I watched the game, and we struggled against them. So they got some players down there, and they're gonna get it back to the old. The you that I remember when I was in college and stuff like that. So this is his first year, but they're doing it the right way. So
Yeah.
Hopefully the Hurricane fans can be just a little patient, but I think they're definitely heading in the right direction.
We are. We believe, it's a process. And I'll tell you a team that's not struggling. How about them Dolphins?
Oh. We can all get a smile on that one. Yeah, we can get a smile on that one.
Woo! Did you see that coming? Number 1 in the power rankings, 3-0. On the only undefeated team besides us is the Eagles. Did you see this start coming?
I did not, because I knew, like we root for the Dolphins, but at the same time, you got to be realistic. And even when we were in Baltimore, the week before, and it started getting out of hand, but then we got it together in the second half. It just showed you that I like the way Coach McDaniel, he kept his composure and stayed, even keeled throughout the game, but things started coming together, and we saw that this offense can really be explosive. I think that was a big question mark, I think, for me and a lot of fans. And then to battle with Buffalo, they're one of the best teams in the AFC. I mean, I do the power rankings
in the league.
In the league. I mean, you just got to call it like what you see it. But to be able to match up against them and to compete, I think that's what you look for. And I think that's important, not only early in the season, but later on in the season, because you want to get your confidence going early. And I think they have it. And I think they're starting to believe that, we can compete with anybody. With the defense we had the last 2 years, if we just improve offensively, that definitely makes us a playoff team. So just keeping everybody healthy, I think, is the thing, and just continue to get better each week.
I agree. Now, you mentioned the Bills. Now that we beat the Bills, week 3, strong win, do you foresee us, and I asked this a lot of people, do you foresee us taking that AFC East champion spot this year? Do you foresee us taking that?
I said it was this is what I said before the season. I said the road goes through Buffalo. So we're ahead now, and I do believe the AFC East will be between the Dolphins and the Bills. And they came down there, we got them, but I guarantee you they're gonna be licking their chops when we come back up there. But we just got to continue doing what we're doing and put ourselves in the best position. But I think it's going to be a close, tight race if we continue to play the way we're playing.
Listen, no one knows better than you what it's like to play in Buffalo in December. And so, this was a must-win this past Sunday, because if we do have a chance of winning the division, you got to win that September game, Miami and the Heat, because like you just mentioned, it's going to be tough to win up there in December. So this is a must-win, and it's a great thing that they got it done.
Now, Richmond, you talk about playing down here. I don't know if you heard, but the Bills fans, a lot of them were chirping, saying that they want to talk to OSHA because the conditions of playing in Miami and down here were too hot. The players had heat exhaustion, which, I mean, you've played down here, your career. Tell me, what was the toughest away stadium that you ever played at? Where can we throw the bone to them and say, hey, you know what? Was it Buffalo or was it a Lambeau? What was the toughest away stadium that you've played at?
Buffalo could be tough at times if they got it going. But I'll say this: before we won this time, Buffalo has beaten us how many times in a row?
7.
So why wasn't it an issue last year or the year before?
You're listening to God's ears. I know you're preaching to the choir. We know. We're just repeating.
That's gonna go in one ear and out the other one. I don't want to hear that. Just hey, man.
But
y'all made it through and just And even with that, the cramping, they still had an opportunity to win the game, and they didn't. So that's a fan being a fan. I'm going to just chalk it up as that.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, Richard. So let's talk about the offensive line. How do you rate the performance? As far as protecting Tua, week 1, the first week you get the jitters out of the way. They allowed 3 sacks. And the last 2 weeks, just 1 sack each. We know Tua got put on his back a little bit there.
Yeah.
He had that back injury. We won't call it a head injury. But, besides that, you're talking about from 3 sacks week 1 and 1 sack the last couple of weeks. Offensive line is doing its job protecting their quarterback.
They're playing extremely well, and I've been extremely happy. And that's why I told someone, if you look at compared to the way they were playing this time last year in the season to now, it's night and day. And I think with the addition of, Teron Armstead, Connor Williams, I know we got to get Austin Jackson back, but Lil has stepped up and he's played. I mean, he was a valuable, he's supposed to be a backup, but when you can get a guy to step in and play the way he's played at the right tackle position, that is tremendous. And
still so young too. So
he's so young, yeah. And so I've been happy. I think they've done a great job. So they just got to continue. We just got to keep them healthy. I think that's the thing that kind of concerns me, because I think Teron went down and then Little went down for a player that came back in. But anytime you see them go down and then you're kind of thin in that area, it's a cause for concern. But they're playing extremely well right now.
Yeah,
definitely. So you say Teron. He's actually probably my favorite player on the team this year, next to Chase Edmonds. I always have a favorite. Now Teron, his issue is his toe. So he has missed practices throughout last week and this week. As a veteran player, how essential or non-essential is it that he's missing these practices? Is it like make or break, or is it kind of like, hey, I know what I'm doing, it's all good?
I think it's all good. I think it's all in the management of, there's no need of going out there just working him to death during practices. If he's a guy, and I've seen it, is you just know how to maintenance a guy, but his mental preparation is probably really good. He's been playing for a while. So he knows the offense, and he knows what he's got to do. And the more you can let him rest that toe or whatever, we need him on Sunday. And I think Coach McDaniel understands that, and they've done a good job so far managing that. And we'll just keep managing that toe. As long as it feels good on Sunday, we're good.
Yes.
Richard, so what's it going to take? Because the one thing I agree, and you just solidified it, the offensive line doing their job in terms of protecting Tua. But as far as running the football, you got to be able to run the football in order to win football games in the NFL consistently. And we haven't done that. You're talking about week 1, 65 yards, 86 against the Ravens in week 2, and then 41. I know we didn't have the ball that much, but only 41 yards rushing against the Bills. Is this just like a system that Coach McDaniel's trying to work in here? What is it going to take for us to, develop a meaningful running game that obviously you're going to need to close out games?
Yeah, I think it is going to come together. Like I said, Baltimore, I kind of figured that they normally typically have a really good defense. So there are going to be times when it's just going to be tough to run the football, because some teams just really defend the run really well. I think with Buffalo having a safety out and a couple people in the secondary, we probably trying to take advantage of that. But we really didn't get anything going consistently in that Buffalo game. And when Buffalo's offense was out there, they was really eating up the time of possession.
Yes.
And so that affects, but you got to find a way when you do get the ball, instead of going 3 and out, sustain some drives, because that gives your defense the opportunity to get some rest and get them off the field. And I was concerned last week because typically a defense plays about 60, 65 plays. That's good for them. But, that they was out there a long time. So
90 plays. It was 90 total plays. Incredible.
That's
a lot. That's a lot.
Play many plays in offense, that's a lot. But so that's why I'm like, normally guys get tired and have to turn around and have a short week like we got, playing Thursday night. So you look at all that, but I do think it's going to come together. I just think that Buffalo, I think with us not being able to get them off the field at times, I think that gave them an opportunity to eat up a lot of clock. And then, we had some big plays, but we need to have plays that we can sustain to continue to keep the time of possession. But I think the running game will be fine. It's going to come along. It's just so much new stuff with Coach McDaniel.
Definitely.
And to follow that up, Richmond, so far Mostert's been the more, long distance runner. He's been able to pack up more yards. Edmonds has been more of a goal line guy, and he's catching the ball in the backfield. As an O-lineman, did you like going back and forth between running backs, or did you prefer the one, workhorse back that's just going to get the ball 20, 30 times a game? What do you prefer, and what motivates the line to, get that extra block and feel comfortable with whoever's running that football?
Well, what motivates the line is when you get an opportunity to run the football, whether it's one guy or whether, it's 2 or 3 guys. It's so specialized a lot of times now that some running backs do really good catching the ball or running screens, this and that. Some of them can do it all, but I think that's why you use different running backs in different situations. But Yeah, anytime we could run the ball and get it going, it was always good. But we had Dan, so we would air it out a lot. But yeah, we would cherish the times that we could run the football like that because it wears on the defense, it wears them down, and it eats up the clock. So it's a plus when you can do that.
Definitely. Richmond, wrapping up. Tell me what team this year has been surprising you and what team has been kind of disappointing you, if you had to say. What's the team that's been like, oh, wow, pretty good? And what's team's like, come on, man, get it together?
I would say my surprise team is the Dolphins, even though I root for them. And I think what surprised me because I thought we were going to lose the Baltimore game. I mean, I just did. It's halftime, I said, if we don't get this going. But even though we started getting it going, they were still making plays because I think Lamar Jackson broke. It was like we scored and then Lamar scored. And I was like, man, I don't know if we're going to have enough time to come back.
Yeah.
That was, I would say that would be my surprise team. Disappointing. I really don't care about nobody else.
That's the right answer.
I mean, I ride with them Dolphins, so I'm trying to think that. It ain't nobody else. Anytime the Dolphins doing good, I'm good. So I'm Dolphins for life. So that's where I ride.
So let's talk about this. About the game tonight. And yes, you are Dolphins for life. Everybody fondly, obviously, remembers you in the aqua and orange. But you also put on the Bengal colors for 2 seasons, and you played in that stadium.
That is right. Yeah,
the second year that it came to was built. So give us a preview. How's that stadium? How are their fans? What do we got to look out for playing in the jungle there?
Jungle.
Great fans. And I'll say this, and I tell people this. I have a lot of respect for Bengal fans, and the reason I do is when I went there, they probably hadn't went to the playoffs in 10, 11 years, but they still supported that team week in and week out. They would be there for the games, rooting. Even though we wouldn't win, they would be there rooting until the end of the game. So if you can root for a team when they're struggling or not having success like they did, and then, I was happy for them last year to actually see them get on a run and make it to the Super Bowl. I knew that would be good for the city of Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's kind of a blue-collar town, but just great people. I didn't have any issues there. People treated me nice. So I just, I spent the majority of my time in Miami. So I'm just a Dolphin, but great fans. It's going to be expected to be loud, and they're going to be rooting for their team, but I'm going to be rooting for mine too. So
I hear you. And listen, the uniforms are great that you put on. They're wearing their white uniforms. They're going with a white Bengal tiger look tonight. I don't know if you got a preview of that.
He's wearing white. He got me nervous. I said, oh.
I got a little green screen behind me, so white works good. That's what a guy told me.
Yeah. But it's going to be a good look for them tonight. We're wearing all aqua.
Yep.
So it should be a good one. So what do you think? What's your prediction for tonight's game?
I'm predicting the Dolphins to win. I think it'll probably be a close game, but since it's a road game, I'm going 27-21 Dolphins. But as long as we win, that's all that matters.
Definitely. Well, your lips to God's ears. We sure hope, And last, Hall of Fame, just know we're chugging for you. Whatever we can do to make it happen, we're praying that this is the year because we're ready for you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And we got to get my man Zach in there. There's a couple Dolphins waiting, but yeah, I appreciate that. And the response on Twitter for me, Zach, and a couple of it's been really welcoming. So I know we got a lot of love, and just keep retweeting, doing what y'all doing. I think that definitely helps.
They hear us. No, it's either Richmond for a can or Richmond for president. So we're getting you in one of these. I'm telling you, whatever one comes first, we're getting you in one of those.
Yeah, send me the can. Don't send me to DC. Send me
Richard, so Tony Boselli did get in last year, and it was brought up that all his great battles with Bruce Smith, as has been with you all the time. Now he only had 1 or 2 games against Bruce Smith. One of them was a playoff game, so they brought a lot of noise from that particular game. But even Bruce Smith was quoted as saying, "Listen, if you're gonna harp this guy and get him in based on 2 games, there's other guys deserving." And he mentioned you among those guys that he went up against battles like 10 years worth of battles twice a year against him. So how did that make you feel when Bruce, mentioned you saying that you're just as deserving as Tony Baselli?
Yeah, it's always when, he's one of the best. I put, Bruce and Reggie right there together as top two to ever play that position. And thank goodness I only had to play against one of them. Reggie was on the other side. You get that a lot. And then, for some reason, I've even ran into players that thought I was already in the Hall of Fame. So
yeah,
it's always good when your peers recognize that they feel that you are deserving of that honor, this and that. And so definitely makes me feel good. But when, somebody like Bruce Smith comes up, plays for the Bills, I play for the Dolphins, arch rivals, this and that. I think we have a tremendous amount of respect for each other's game and stuff like that. But for him to go on record and do that, I thought that was huge.
Perfect. Richmond, before I let you go, when you come to Miami, when's it happening? We're 3-0. When's it happening?
I will be there for the Cleveland game.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect. All right, so when you come down, let us know.
Please,
so we can, have Dolphin Nation come out.
I mean, they'll go crazy. You're so loved in our community. Obviously, you see our tailgate, you see what we do, and you're very special to us. So never change. You have such a sincere and kind heart, and we love everything that you did for our team and continue to do for us. I speak on behalf of Dolphins, everybody.
So many people have so much love for you. I mean, definitely, whenever your name is brought up, everybody just loves every comment. They, say nothing but great things about you. So with that Cleveland game, I think it'd be wonderful to, have you make the rounds, whatever you can, to just give the people what they want. They want Richmond Webb. They love Richmond Webb.
All right, well, I need that love, so I need to come hang out with y'all. That sounds good.
And let the viewers know where they can get in touch with you. Where can they be?
I am basically, I'm on Twitter more than anything, and now I'm at Twitter. I'm Richmond Webb. Facebook, I'm Richmond Webb, and then somebody actually had my name on Instagram.
Stay away from that. That's trouble.
The real Richmond Webb. So
not
I had that. Somebody had my name. I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay.
Perfect. Well, we appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. I know we got kickoff coming up in a little bit. So thank you again for joining us tonight. Wish you nothing but the best. And let's hope 4-0. Wake up tomorrow, Victory Friday.
4-0. That's going to be the hashtag.
Thank you, Richmond. Take care. God bless.
Take care. All right. God bless.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Oh, I just love that man so much.
He is so great.
Oh my goodness. No.
It makes me sad when he logs off because I want him to just
Can he just come and hang out with us? Can we order forget Shaq with the Papa Johns? I want to do Richmond with the Papa Johns hanging out with him. No, he is just such a class act. And what you guys hear from him is how he is. He's so interactive on social media. He loves the fans and he loves the team. You have these players who play for these franchises who could care less about the team. Richmond is truly a Dolphins fan.
Yes.
You could hear it in his voice. And so
and a class act, always been, just a guy that just is blue collar, puts helmet on, goes to work, doesn't talk trash, isn't arrogant.
No.
A heck of a teammate by all accounts. Everybody loved playing with Richmond Webb. So and he knows his stuff. Like, you look at all the insight he gave us.
I know you can go coach, but no, we love Coach Daniel. But I'm saying
the stories that he gives us, it's always great catching up with him, and he's truly deserving of a Hall of Fame. I know that it gets tougher every year. We were talking about this previously to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Every year there's more candidates that are eligible, and so his name, his candidacy falls pushed a little bit back, but sooner or later it's going to come to fruition. I think the same thing for Zach. Zach's, as long as he stays on the ballot, and so will Richmond, he's going to have his opportunity, and he's super deserving. So,
we talk about Richmond going to the Hall of Fame. He's so humble about it that the next word he said is, and Zach. Instead of just taking the glory for himself, he's looking out for his boy. Right. So it's just, you guys.
Again, and to your point, and that's why I asked him, because he doesn't, he's not arrogant or say, he's not selfish like that. He, and he did say on your previous show, he said, hey, he just sits back and lets his resume do the talking. And when you're a 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, your name's in the Ring of Honor, you protected one of the best quarterbacks, NFL history, and never, let him get, messed up. So, his stats do speak for himself. But again, with him being humble about it and having a guy like Tony Baselli get in, and then Bruce Smith saying, wait, hold on a second. Tony Baselli, good. He deserves to be put in.
Yeah.
But if you're going to judge this guy based on his accomplishments against me, for 2 games. What about a guy like Richmond Webb that, played against him 20 plus times every, twice a year for a 10-year, for a decade period? It just tells you all you need to know. And Bruce Smith is, I know Reggie White, didn't play as many games, but Bruce Smith is the all-time sack leader. And he had tremendous battles with Richmond Webb, and Richmond Webb won a lot of those battles. So
yeah, no, and I forgot that Richmond played for Cincinnati. I always think that his career started and ended in Miami. So it was really good to even have an insight on Ohio. Have you ever been to Ohio?
I have.
Yeah.
I went to Canton for Marino's induction.
That is true.
So, and I will go to Canton for Richmond Webb's induction.
Absolutely.
When it happens.
We
100%.
will be there.
We will be there.
100%. That was for that. All right, so we have a game in a little bit. Cincinnati Bengals, last night on the show, we didn't have an update. We didn't know if Tua was playing, we didn't know if Waddle was playing.
Everybody's playing.
Okay, but we didn't know that. So now we know that Tua is slated to start this game. So we are excited to see that. Same with Waddle. Teron Armstead, we spoke about him. So we are banged up. Let the truth be told. Oh, Sandy from the West Coast, Callie. Hello, darling. Fins up. But yeah, we were not sure who was going to play or not. But you got to remember, we just played 4 days ago. So no excuses, nothing.
I will say this, though. Richmond brought up a good point. The defense, we got a lot of young guys on defense, a lot of playmakers. So I'm not worried about the defense. As far as offensively, yes, 4-day turnaround really quick. But we just brought it up. The Bills had 90 plays in the game. We only had 39 plays.
Yeah.
We only had the ball for, it was less than 20 minutes. So yes, Tua, is a little banged up, but he really didn't play that much. The offensive line, it's not like they were gassed out. No. If anything, I'd be more worried if I was the Bills playing this Thursday because they had the ball the whole time. Well, I'm saying the game was on Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm not that worried about the offense having a letdown or, trying to catch up out of, energy. They were drained Sunday. They weren't. They only played 39 plays.
Yeah.
They only had the ball for 19 minutes and 20 seconds, whatever it was, less than 20 minutes. So, I feel good about that. The fact that the offense is relatively fresh for having only 4 days off. Tua only threw the ball a handful of times, 20-something times, as opposed to Josh Allen who threw the ball 60 times.
Yeah.
So, I feel, and also Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had to play a full offensive game. Was there all 4 quarters, back and forth in the trenches with the Jets. So I feel like the offense is going to be fresh and ready to go.
Yeah, no, I can tell you as we wrap up, I was more nervous playing the Patriots, the Ravens, and the Bills than this game. Doesn't mean I'm going to this game sleeping. Every game's a new week, but I do have a sense of security and confidence going to this game based on what I've been seeing the last 3 games.
I would disagree with the Patriots. Definitely the Bills and definitely the Ravens on the road. The Patriots, even though they were a playoff team last year.
Still Bill Belichick too, though.
Yeah, no, you're right. And they were down here since Tuesday getting ready for the sun and all that. The heat. But, look, the Patriots, I wouldn't put them on the level as the Bills, Ravens, or even the Bengals. The Bengals won the Super Bowl last year for a reason.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very tough game tonight. But again, the offense is fresh. And look, the key here is going to be the defense.
Yeah.
Okay? The recipe on how to beat the Bengals is there. Joe Burrow's been sacked 15 times. Our Dolphin defense, despite making big plays, hasn't gotten theirs. Ogba hasn't gotten a sack.
Yeah.
Jalen Phillips hasn't gotten a sack. We might send Jerome Baker.
Pick sixes haven't been happening.
Correct.
There's a lot of stuff, a lot of ingredients that are ready to explode.
This game is going to be won by the defense. We got to get to Burrow. We got to pressure him often. We got to get him on the ground, make him feel us. And if we do that, plays will come out of it, and we're going to have a chance. The offense will have a good chance to get the ball.
And our offensive line needs to hold so Tua doesn't get hit to possibly hurt anymore or get more injured.
Right.
And give him time to make plays.
Yeah, well, look, and that's the other thing. I think, Mike McDaniel in the locker room is going to say a couple of things. And I think it's kind of easy if you think about it. Number one, they literally passed through a hurricane to get up to Cincinnati.
Facts.
I mean, we saw the plane trajectory. My brother sent it to us. And, they basically had to go side by side. So they left over there. It's tough, And then the other thing is you get there, you're 3-0. A lot of people picked against us tonight. But you get 10 days off. 10 days off.
And then we go to
game,
New York.
And then you go to the Jets, which, let's be real, that's another 7 days off. So you're talking about a lot of days off, between playing, the Bengals tonight to try to get this win, the rest in between getting ready for the Jets, and it's the Jets. So they have to feel motivated to come out of this with a victory. And yeah, I think we have a great shot to do it.
Miss Kasicki just came in the room. Miss Fins, Miss Kasicki. And I was going to ask her what her score prediction tonight. Miss Kasicki says 42-13. So we had Richmond on the show before you came in. Richmond said
He didn't give a score prediction.
No, he
said
did.
Did he?
Yeah, he
I
said
gotta rewind.
27-20 Dolphins.
Oh,
So, yeah, you don't remember that?
I
Oh,
didn't-
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So, Miss Kosicki, Sandy, what are you thinking for your score prediction? We didn't ask you. What's your score prediction? Miss Kosicki here's going for a big, big, big win tonight.
That's huge. I mean, I would take that. Wow.
That's why I love her. No, that would
Wow.
be great. No, so go ahead.
No, you say you always go streaking if we win. If we win 42-13 or by any kind of margin like that, I'm going streaking. I'm sure people don't want to see that. But,
Even Sandy.
you know.
No, Sandy, our girl Sandy
Wow.
down in California.
Oh, man.
You guys are,
all right.
That's why they're my
Makes
girls.
me feel a little better about the situation.
Definitely. Guys, as we wrap up, listen, at halftime, I'm doing a special contest. I'm going to come on a different show only for like a few minutes. I partnered with an anonymous donor who reached out to me who wants to donate a Dolphins gift every time we have an away game to a fan who lives in that state. So I opened it up to all fans who live in Ohio. I got like 15 names. I have an electronic wheel that I'm going to spin at halftime. And whoever wins will announce it, and this anonymous donor will send a Dolphins prize. So that'll be happening at halftime. And then next week when we play the Jets, it'll be open to all fans from New Jersey and New York.
You got another score prediction here.
What was that?
That's the
Fam's
thing.
here. Okay, 31-23. So still a 2.2 two possession game.
That's right. I said
closer, guys. I hope you're right. Your predictions, up
I
to
said
the
Dolphins 26-23. And what do you say? You didn't?
I didn't.
You didn't go on record.
I know. I needed to see who was going to be, and I didn't know if Tua was playing. I didn't know Waddle.
He is. Everybody's
all right,
playing.
let me think.
Let me get a
all right.
prediction.
So I don't want to be like the oddball out, but I'm going to say my birthday. Well, I'm going to say 24 Dolphins, 10 Bengals. So my birthday backwards. My birthday's 10-24, so I'm saying 24-10. So
all right,
we'll see.
There you go.
All right, guys, let's go. Shoo, we got a game to watch.
It's almost kickoff. Aqua tonight.
By now, if you don't know where to watch the game, if you live in South Florida, local, it's channel 39. Twitch, if you have a Twitch subscription, it's on Twitch. Go to your local bar. Maybe they're playing it at your local bar. And if not, Amazon Prime subscription. You get a 4-week free subscription, no holds, no nothing. And you're able to watch the game on Amazon Prime. I have Amazon Prime. It's fantastic. The amount of packages that come here on a daily basis. But use it to watch the game. So till then, guys, our prayers and our thoughts are to our friends on the west coast of Florida and actually the whole state of Florida. It has been a terrible last 48 hours, and we're thinking about you and praying for you and hope the Dolphins will win this one for you guys tonight.
Same thing. I just, first of all, that's the most important thing. We want to thank Richmond for coming on and joining us this evening. But first and foremost, even way more important than this football game tonight is, everybody's health and well-being, and, just everybody pulling through this. I know that a lot of people are out there supporting, and we all will. We're going to keep everybody in our prayers and hope everybody comes out of this okay.
Absolutely, guys. All right. Catch up what you have. Fins up.
Let's
go, boys. Let's get it. Love you guys. Have a good night.